Okay, the objective for this lesson is I can add mixed numbers. And if you remember 2 lessons ago, we learned how to add mixed numbers and fractions. And really adding the fraction parts and kind of regrouping your fractions and whole numbers is the more difficult part. So if you did okay with that, this is going to be a piece of cake for you. Because the only difference is now we have 2 whole numbers. So, for instance, in problem number 1 here, we have 3 1/7 plus 2 2/7. All right. So, again, when you add mixed numbers and fractions, you're basically going to decompose or break apart the mixed number. So, what you want to do is you want to add the 2 whole numbers first. Right? Pretty simple math. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then you want to add the 2 fraction parts. And because these fractions, when you add them together, aren't going to be very large, you don't have to worry about an improper fraction here. So 1/7 plus 2/7 is 3/7. And then you put that whole number and fraction back together for your mixed number answer. All right. And the great thing about this lesson too is notice all your denominators are going to be the same, so you don't have to find common denominators. So again, when you're adding mixed numbers, you just want to add the whole numbers first, get your answer, and then add the fraction part and put that next to your whole number. So let's have you try one of those. So let's do 4 3/8 plus 5 2/8. Go ahead and solve that. Right, so hopefully you did what I said and did 4 plus 5 first, which is 9. And then 3/8 plus 2/8, which is 5/8, and should have got an answer of 9 5/8. Okay, that's the simplest adding of mixed numbers right there, where you get a fraction and not an improper fraction. All right, so that's problem number 1. Let's try problem number 2. All right, so we're still going to follow the same steps every time. So I'm going to look at my whole numbers and I'm going to add those up. 4 plus 7, of course, is 11. Now I'm going to look at my fractions and I'm going to add those up. So 1/4 plus 3/4 is 4/4. But I cannot leave my fraction written like that. Remember, when the numerator and the denominator are the same number, what does that equal? That's right. When the numerator and denominator are the same number, that is equal to 1 whole, right? So I cannot write a mixed number 11 4/4. So what I have to do is that 4/4 is equal to 1, right? So basically, as I take that 1 whole, now I have another whole number, and add it to the whole number 11 that I already have there. And so 11 4/4 would be the same as 12. And that's your answer. There's no fraction there. So the answer in this case is not a mixed number. All right, let's try one of those down below. Okay, so your problem number 2, let's do 6 4/9 plus 7 5/9. Okay, go ahead and solve that. All right, so again, you should have added your whole numbers first and got 13. When you add your 2 fractions, you got 9/9. But then hopefully you realized, again, remember, when the numerator and denominator are the same number, that is equal to 1. So you take that 1 and add it to the 13, And so hopefully you got 14 as your answer. All right, last type of problem you'll see in this lesson is when the fraction portion of your mixed number is an improper fraction. And we had this 2 lessons ago, so you should be familiar with it. So again, same steps. 23 plus 15 is 38. 4/5 and 2/5 is 6/5. I cannot leave a mixed number like that. I cannot leave an improper fraction improper, right? So in this case, I have to take this and make it into a mixed number. So again, remember, how many times does 5 go into 6? The answer is 1. 1/5 is equal to 5, right? So my remainder is 1, and my denominator always stays the same. So in this case, 6/5 is the same as 1 1/5, right? So what you do to get your answer is you take that 1 1/5 and you add it to 38. So take your 1 whole first, right? So 38 becomes 39. And then you take your fraction portion over the 1/5, and your answer will be 39 1/5. All right, so let's see if you can do one of these. All right, problem number 3. Let's do 11 5/6 plus 8 and 4/6. All right, go ahead and try and solve that. All right, so again, whole numbers first. 11 plus 8 is 9. 5/6 plus 4/6 is 9/6. All right, right away, as soon as you see that numerator bigger than the denominator, you know you have to make a mixed number. So 6 goes into 9 once. There's a remainder of 3. My denominator stays the same. So all I do now is I take that 1 whole and add it to the 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. And then you bring the rest, your fraction, over, and your answer is 10 3/6. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, but please, if you struggled at all with this lesson, remember before you try to solve these problems to click rewatch, so you can rewatch before you try to solve the problems in this video. And if you finish the video, you can watch the whole thing again. So even while you're doing the independent practice, go back, look at the Edpuzzle video if you have any trouble, and watch again how to solve these problems. All right?